Hi, ladies and gentlemen. 2 years ago, around July 2018, I took the JLPT, or the Japanese Level Proficiency Exam Test, Level 2, and I failed. But the experience was a lot of fun, and I realized that I really need to rethink how I study Japanese. So I thought, why not try to study as hard as I can for 2 years and see what happens? Maybe I'll get really good and I'll make a lot of mistakes, but I'll at least figure out how I should study from now on. My story starts in early January 2012. I found a manga called Atashi no Lion, and I really wanted to know what it was about and read it. But the only way was to read it in Japanese and buy it from Japan. So for 1 year or so, I just started to study Japanese, and during that time it was more about having fun really, and just enjoying the process. But then in January 2013, for 3 years and a bit I took it more seriously, and I used to have weekly evening classes in Japanese. During that time I went through Tai Kim's Guide to Japanese, Genki 1, Genki 2, and Chuko Eiko, and some other grammar resources. And then I took a break for 2 years. In January 2018, I thought, okay, I want to start studying again, seriously. And I really wanted to pass the JLPT level 2. So I thought, okay, I'll do my best and see how much I can improve and if I can regain my knowledge in Japanese for 6 months. Of course, as we already know, I failed. But still, I'm really glad I did it. For the last 2 years, I feel like I've been consistently improving, and it has been a fun journey. It definitely has had a positive impact on my life. I don't really think about it anymore. Like I would use or learn Japanese every day. It has become like a daily habit, really. I'll try to play games in Japanese, read in Japanese, and do my daily reviews. So yeah, of course some days I will just watch anime, which is not really studying. But in general, I think I spent around 30 minutes a day using the language or learning something, at the very minimum. Some days more, some days less. So here are my stats, if it's fun to look at. My first year of this experiment was more about building consistency, trying to learn every day, trying to use apps every day, for example, and just figure out what I like and what I don't like. I thought it would be a good idea to use Renshu, Anki, and Kanji Senpai. The idea of these spaced repetition apps is that you will see the word or item, whatever, over a longer period of time, gradually, so that it gets ingrained into the long-term memory. Kanji Senpai is great. Do it on my phone whenever I want or whenever I'm free for a second tutor. Renshu, I really like it because it's very customizable and I can use it however I want to a point. For Anki, I thought that it would be a great idea to make my own flashcards. The idea was that when I'm reading a book or something, I can use Akebi dictionary, mark the word for studying, and then I can use Anki Droid and just study it straight away, or I can make my own flashcards based on the word. My idea was that through Anki I will do Nihongo de Nihongo o benkyou shiteiru. It's not always possible, but for the most part I feel like I'm getting there. Over the last year, my focus really went into reading as much as I can, and hopefully find resources where there's a lot of furigana, which is the kanji reading on top of the kanji. And yeah, it has been a lot of fun trying to read as much as I can, even if I don't understand everything, to just read. To a point, I'm a bit frustrated with myself because I started to learn Japanese so that I can read, and I put it off for later and for later and for later. And yeah, I feel a bit annoyed about this. I feel like my focus on reading has started to really pay off nowadays, as my reading speed has really improved and my comprehension too. Of course, I still don't understand everything, but I'm not afraid of seeing a wall of text anymore, as I used to be. Additionally, it doesn't take me months to read manga anymore or light novels. Before I used to get tired really easily after reading a page or so. Nowadays I can finish a light novel or a book in a couple of days. If you're curious as to what I'm reading, I post everything on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter in the links down below. Nowadays I feel really confident in just picking up any book and just trying to read it. I may not understand everything, of course. There's a lot of specialized vocabulary, for example, but I'll just go with it just to see if I can read it. But if I was starting from scratch, I would probably go with NHK initially and children's stories, just because of the vocabulary. And on NHK there will be furigana, audio and video on some of the articles. Next, I would probably just go and read shonen jump stuff and like stuff for kids like Nichijou, Yotsuba. Basically manga which has furigana, because the furigana plus the images will make it very easy to build a mental image of what's going on. And for example, Bookwalk, Book Live and eBook Japan, they're great websites and resources, as you can read the samples on those websites for free. And even some manga are free. And this is great because you don't need to pay anything, you can just see if you can read it or not. After simple manga, I'll probably go with Tsubasa Bunko. This is an imprint of Kadokawa for simplified books for kids. So for example, the kanji will be simpler, the vocabulary will be simpler, and the grammar. And on every kanji there is furigana, which is just there for the rescue, really. And yeah, there's some awards, Mirai no Mirai, for example, to Your Name. And yeah, I'll read a few of those books, or maybe not just a few, but a lot. And afterwards, it's light novels and books, really. Light novels are great because, for the most part, they're targeted towards teenagers. And the vocabulary and the grammar will be much more simple, hopefully, compared to a normal book. So yeah, hopefully this was useful and helpful. This year has been really strange, but hopefully this journey of reading and just studying Japanese every day continues. And see you next time. Wish you all the best. Bye bye.